major like rocked my socks, so to speak, this week in terms of news stories. But there's still some interesting stuff nonetheless.
Hmm.
Um, I'm starting off with one with a story that is I think fairly interesting to say the least. This comes from IGN and it's regarding Hello Games. You may recognize that developer as the developer that did No Man's Sky. Um, there was a lot of jokes around the game. I know. I think Video Game Donkey was one that I remember
Yes.
very well. Of No Guy Bye, probably the best like play on
It
words
was the
ever.
best roast.
Oh, so good. Anyways, that game has, even though it had its rough launch, rough is to say the least, it did go on to add some of the features that were promised, and they really turned it around. I think over the years, and I know Mike, you certainly agree. I know we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
Um, so they eventually made a really good game, and it just didn't have a good launch. I mean, that's certainly unfortunately that's not uncommon these days. I feel like for a lot of games, but nevertheless, they said they are working on a new project that is so ambitious it quote seems impossible even with a
No.
1,000-person team working on it, is what they're saying. So even if they had a 1,000-person team, they don't know how anyone could pull it off. Uh, speaking to IGN, the co-founder and managing director Sean Murray said that while this new game announcement is no sequel to No Man's Sky, the new game is just as ambitious. He said, for a while now, we've been working on something pretty ambitious in the background. It's a small team, but we like it that way. Similarly to No Man's Sky, it's a kind of project that even if we had 1,000 people working on it, it still seem impossible. Um, I don't know if they really went too much, I think, on too much detail. But they're really starting to sell it early, which kind of just like hopefully it's not history repeating itself. I really hope not, especially if they have a small team working on it. But it's like Hello Games, like I feel like every Hello Games, like every project they put out now, there's gonna be a lot of hesitancy from the community. It's like it's just
Oh yeah.
they kind of shoehorn themselves with that. I mean, I don't know. Are you excited for like another IP from this team, Mike?
Well, have you gone back and played No Man's Sky?
Uh, I don't think I did. I just saw
Okay.
like I saw like Ho Carnage, I think, streaming a couple times after like way down the line of its
Okay.
release, but that was it.
Well, I have, and what I can say is that everything that they initially promised is in the game now. It just took them a couple of years to get there. Maybe 3, I believe. Might have been a little bit longer. But that's not the point. The point is that they eventually got to that point where the game's finished. So I have high hopes, but I wouldn't expect a lot of promises like the last time. Do you remember how bad it was when Sean Murray was like released the game and the community backlash? Dude, it was so bad. He was getting death threats.
Yeah, straight up.
Like it was really bad. They had to file I think they had to file some type of police report because one of them looked like it might be legitimate.
Yeah, I mean, I would
So
believe it.
I yeah, and like in the article, I think you're showing it maybe a little bit lower, but it says he said we've he said we've learned our lesson on talking about games too early after No Man's Sky opened. Yeah. So it was so bad. I don't expect him to make promises anymore. I
Yeah,
think he's going to be pretty open and honest. Like he was a really young guy with a brand new indie team and he
yeah,
promised the world and it backfired on him.
yeah.
And he fulfilled his promise eventually. So he's
Yeah,
not
I mean,
a liar,
yeah,
but
you got to give it to him, right? That's like
yeah.
the ultimate story of perseverance in the
Yes.
game
Oh my
industry.
god.
Like, they
They
just they took that turd that originally came out, and then they just
yeah.
like they said like let's actually like make this into what we promised. They did it. So
Yeah, not like some devs would just take the money and be like, "All right, that's good enough," and then leave and then
yeah,
stop supporting
or
the
they
game.
just go on to the next project. Be like, yeah, let's just not
Yeah.
even try. Let's just move on. So you got
Yeah,
to give it
but
to
I
them.
mean, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like this is the kind of stuff you got to praise. Like
Yeah, definitely.
if you do something wrong, definitely like give feedback, criticism for it. But if you're doing stuff right, you also have to equally praise it. So,
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
I mean,
for sure.
I think it's interesting, but he's definitely saying it's going to be an issue. Even if you
Yeah,
had 1,000 people working on it, still seems impossible. It's like, all
yeah.
right,
Yeah,
Being
it's like,
honest.
I mean, it's so funny. Like you mentioned, so like Murray previously he had previously said that they had learned our lesson about talking about games too early, but here they go, like starting to talk about a game too early. Granted, we don't have details or anything, but still, like they're still starting early. So I don't know. It's one of those things like, I think like you should when it comes to like anything creative, I feel like you should just do it and like just because every video game company that or like every developer that we've seen that has just done it, like they haven't announced anything, no press, they just like do it, make
Yeah.
sure it's good, drop it. Like it not only like saves you from the pressure of like having to like crunch and get the game out at a certain time and like worry about like building up the hype, like when you just drop it, it gives you plenty of time to work on it, focus, make sure it's good, and then people don't expect it, and it just makes it better because it's like here's this finished product that we were able to take our time with because we weren't promoting this for the past 4 years. We just like put our heads down and did it, and then put it out. It just goes to
That's
show,
true.
you just sometimes it's better to just do rather than talk about something because if you talk about something, it's like it really gets rid of a lot of that drive of like wanting to actually do it. You know. So
Yeah.
it's just better to
Yeah.
do.
Just just do it.
Yeah. I mean, I
Like,
said it best,
yeah, you did.
Yeah, I'm curious to see I guess our next game, but again, I'm just gonna be it's one of those things I'm just gonna be taking it with a grain of salt up until we actually see what they got. So
Yeah, I mean, I'm also like, it's gonna be cool. So the update for No Man's Sky Outlaws is supposed to come out apparently this summer.
yeah, I
Is that
believe
what that
so.
says? Yeah. So I mean, I guess I gotta get you on it so you can
Yeah,
at least experience it. I know you're big into these like RPG like style
yeah,
open sandbox games, so this is right up your alley.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, we I think I definitely we definitely need to play some games. We just need to like, check some of the stuff out because like this is a perfect example of something like it'd be great to just hop on. We'll have to like schedule some time or whatnot. I feel like it's the best
Yeah.
like way to get me on a game and like actually playing is just like we're getting on to this time and then we do it.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely add this
Yeah.
to the list, I think. Um,
This and Sea of Thieves.
yeah,
Got
Sea
to
of
go
Thieves.
back. Got to go back to Sea
Yeah,
of Thieves.
Sea of Thieves is a weird thing because I haven't heard much about it. I mean, I've seen like Summon's kind of got back into it and like some of the bigger streamers, but I haven't heard
There
too
was
much on it.
I think there was a new update not too long ago. There has definitely been some hype around it with streamers going back and playing it again.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, there was a tournament. That's why I'm
Yeah.
thinking of that.
I
There
think it was
was
in Twitch
a
Rivals, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the most recent thing that I saw is Rare is taking some inspiration from Bungie's Destiny to
Oh
implement some
yeah,
things
yeah.
into Sea of Thieves for the next season,
Yeah,
for season
I saw that
6.
article. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're it hasn't been forgotten. They're still working on it, and I mean, Rare's a great developer. I mean, that's a game right there. Not a lot of people. There wasn't a whole lot of hype for Sea of Thieves. I think there was Skull and Bones was
Yeah,
the other
maybe.
game that was coming out at the same time. I don't know anybody that plays that game.
Yeah, I don't either.
So Sea of Thieves won, and everybody roasted it. It doesn't look realistic enough. It's like it doesn't
Dude,
have to be.
bro,
It's a game,
that's not
dude.
it. They people that say that have not logged onto that game, gotten on a brig, looked at like ran to like the front of the boat and just stared out at a blank ocean of just the water and just like dude,
Yeah,
like if you just go in that game, get on the boat and just look at the water and you just sail around, it is like it's like
it's
I'm
the
actually
vibe.
there. I'm just like this is nice. Like like it is so peaceful. Like you're just like chilling, just looking at the water. And the water in that game looks fantastic,
It
regardless of the graphics.
does.
It looks so good.
It does. Their animation's so sick.
Yeah, they did
So
it. They've done a really good job with that game. So I don't know. Ain't a Game Pass. Enough said. I'm not gonna say
yeah, yeah.
anything else. Go play it if you got it. It's free. Oh,